Alright everyone, welcome to my brand new series, Intro to CSS. Now this series that I'm making bases off of some of the things that are taught in WDD130 at BYU, Idaho. And that's the class code, but the actual class is called Web Fundamentals. Web Fundamentals is a class that focuses a lot on CSS. There's a little bit of HTML in there involved, but it mainly focuses on CSS, and it goes under the understanding that you know kind of what HTML is already. So we're gonna step into this one, and I'm gonna go through and help you guys. Now this first week, this first video that I'm making right now, if you're in the class, you're welcome to stay. I'd love to help you with your assignments. I will be going through some of the assignments and talking about the points that are taught that week, and try to help you progress further your code. I'll probably talk about difficult points that I came across as I go through them, like things to look out for. If you're not going to college or you're not in this Web Fundamentals class at BYUI, don't worry, you're welcome to stay as well. I'm just going to give you some challenges and some things to work on yourself as you go through this. And if you do those challenges, you're going to feel more confident. If you stick to them and you do them, you're going to feel more confident in your coding skills, and you will be able to code. Even though you didn't go to school for it, you'll be able to do it. I personally believe anybody can learn to code if they want to, if it's a desire that they have, because it's not difficult. It takes time and it takes dedication, but it's not difficult. So keep that in mind, and if you guys want to come and learn some CSS, I recommend that you know a little bit of HTML before you start this. That will make your time here a little bit easier. I'm not going to dive into HTML so seriously in this one. I'm not going to explain too much unless you guys ask me to. If you guys down in the comments want me to, I can explain the HTML a little bit and explain things about that. But I'm focusing mainly on CSS here. I do have another series on my channel, Intro to HTML and JavaScript, I did recently, and I just finished it. If you want to learn HTML and you want to tackle that before you go to this, that would be a place I would recommend to go. Not just because it's my videos and all that, and I want you to watch all my videos, but learning HTML first will be a good foothold before you go into CSS. Now in that course, I also, as the name describes, I talk about JavaScript as well, but I mainly focus on HTML and JavaScript being inside the HTML. So it's more focused on HTML. I also took another class that focused specifically on the JavaScript side of things and not the HTML. We didn't type any HTML in that or CSS, we just typed plain JavaScript. That was fun. And I might do a series on that one too. I mean, I don't know. It was very fun though. But first off, if you don't have Visual Studio Code, I would recommend getting that one. Now you can use any code editing software that you want. Even for those that are in Web Fundamentals at BYUI, if you're in that class right now, they're going to recommend you get Visual Studio Code. But if you want, you can use any code editor you like. The reason why I recommend Visual Studio Code is because it has some features that are going to be really nice to have as you code your CSS, your cascading style sheets. That's what CSS stands for. And as you do that, it'll have some unique features that'll be really nice to have, very convenient to use, and it'll make your job a lot easier. Now, if I want to describe a little bit of what cascading style sheets are, I can pull up something. Let's just go to oh hey, I'll just show you one of my pages. That's what I'll do. Alright, I'll just show you this page right here. This will help you get an idea of what is going on. Okay, so when I say cascading style sheets, or CSS for short, as people will call it, CSS is what makes the page look pretty. So this is the page that we are going to make. Well, we made it in our course in Web Fundamentals. I'm probably going to help you guys and work through to make something of your own. Now, this doesn't have to be, obviously doesn't have to be a whitewater rafting site, which is what we were told to do. We were told to make a whitewater rafting site and name it whatever we wanted. We can name it the default name that they gave us, or we could name it ourselves. I called mine Whitewater Courier. So CSS is what makes this thing look so pretty. If you look at how pretty it is, that's CSS. HTML is the bare bones. HTML is what the elements are. For example, this button is an HTML element. The home, the site plan, the about us, the contact us, the book now, the have an adventure, the picture, like all of that is in my HTML file. Now my CSS tells where all of these elements, tells the page where to put all of my elements. For example, if I didn't have any CSS, this would not look anything like what it looks like now. Let me see, actually, I might be able to get you guys a picture of what my page looked like before I put any CSS in it. Let me just check over here real quick, see if I have that picture over here of what it looked like beforehand. I think it's right here. Is that it? I think it's it. Hang on. Let's look at the details here, and that might be it. Let me just take a look. Oh, excuse me. Oh no, it's gonna load like that. Oh crap. Oh no, it won't load. Dang it. Alright, well I can just describe it. So basically what it looks like is, it'd be a white page basically. You'd have like the little blue, I know you've seen them before, like the little blue like links, they're really tiny and they're just stacked up. Pictures are all blocked off. It just does not look pretty and succinct. Everything is in its own space. So this picture is not centered, these words are not centered, they're off to the left. And you'll see that as we go through this series, as I show you what we're doing, you'll see that. You will notice and you'll see exactly what it looks like without CSS. CSS makes the color blue, makes these buttons sit where they're sitting, nice and evenly spaced apart. It puts this picture in the middle, puts this book now here. It creates the color when I hover over it and when I'm not hovering over it. It creates, this hovering effect when I hover over these, items. It's what puts this block right there, the nice blue block there, in front of the picture, the border. I could go on for days. This footer, the way that it looks, all of that is CSS. The individual elements like these buttons or these words or the pictures or these icons here and all that, that is HTML. But CSS directs that HTML and tells it where to go and how to look and how to present itself. I hope that helps you understand a little bit of what CSS is, and we will learn more about it as time goes on. I'm going to go ahead and close that. But first off, I recommend getting Visual Studio Code. If you don't want Visual Studio Code, you can do without it. But I'm going to show you why I think it's a good idea, specifically if you're working with CSS. Now, if you're not working with CSS, if you're just doing like HTML, JavaScript, or any other programming language, it doesn't matter. You can pick whatever you want. I'm going to get a drink of water. There we go. You can get whatever you want. But specifically when working with CSS, the reason why I want Visual Studio Code is because I do a lot of debugging with my CSS because I type something in, I like to see if it works. Oh, did that work? Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, I spelled this wrong. Or because, oh, I used the wrong word here. Things like that. And that'll make more sense as I go along. I promise it will. First thing you want to do is download Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio. Because Visual Studio is different from Visual Studio Code, and it's often referred to as VS Code or VSC. So once you get this, you can just download the basic default settings when you download it. First thing you're going to do is when you come in here, you're going to come over here to the extensions button, which is this button over here. If you're on Windows, I'm on Mac right now just because my Mac is performing a little bit better than my Windows at the moment. It'll look a little different. You'll have some different, like open file, all that other stuff. Not important. You want to come over here to this button. That little square and stuff is called the Extensions tab. It's going to open like this. Okay? Now, these are the two that I have installed, and these are the two that I recommend that you get. But you'll have a list of recommended ones when you open it. First one is called Prettier. Okay? Prettier is not necessary. You don't have to get it if you don't want it. If you think it's going to take up too much space, you don't have to get it. I get it because I've never had an issue where this changes my code at all. But Prettier is a code formatter that forces your code to change just to make it look better. I've never had it actually do that. I've just had it tell me when something is wrong. That's all I've ever had it do. As I use it, it pops up like a little warning and says, oh, hey, by the way, this is not consistent with the rest of your code. And it doesn't do anything about it. It just says, hey, this is the thing. My cats are going crazy. They're chasing each other all over the house. It just says, hey, this is a little bit different than your code. You might consider changing it, but it doesn't tell you, and it's not invasive. It's down here on this corner if you're looking for it. It's down here, and it's going to put up in that warning and just say, like, hey, this is just a little different. Just be aware of that. nothing other than that, and that's why I like it. It just kind of tells me when something's off, and I can be like, oh right, let me change that real quick. So go ahead and install Prettier. I've already have it installed, so that's why it shows like this. If you have like a slow process or anything like that, it might take a couple minutes to download. Don't be too worried about that. Just let it do its thing. Once it's finished and it pops up like this, uninstall or disable. Jeez Louise. They're going nuts right now. They're fighting over there. It'll pop up uninstall or disable. Okay. Then you're going to go to something called Live Server by Ritwick Day, and you want to make sure it's by this name. Okay. You're going to install that, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to say uninstall or disable. Once that's installed, I don't think you have to restart your Visual Studio Code. You might have to restart it, but I don't think you do. Now these two things, Prettier does what I described that it does that. Live Server allows your page to update as you go, or as you save it. So I know that may sound kind of weird, especially when I started this course on here. I thought I didn't need a live server because I just hit refresh every time I want to, and I quickly realized that I do need a live server. And it's when you're working with CSS, I promise you, you want to see your updates really quickly. I especially have two monitors. I have a dual monitors. So on my right side monitor, I have like my web page up, and on my left side here, which is one you guys are seeing, is my code. And so as I go through and code, I can look and see. I don't have a folder open. I can look and see what my code is doing, hit the save button, and the minute I hit the save, it loads it on my other page and just brings it straight up. And then I can tell, like, oh, what I just did didn't work, and I can edit my code some more and hit save and then look at my screen, and I don't have to click on anything. It just automatically loads for me. That's why it's so nice, and that's why I recommend you get Visual Studio Code. Now, I know that Sublime Text has something. There's like an extension in Sublime Text that supposedly allows you to do it too. I never got that to work. I tried, but Live Server never worked for me. So that is what this does. Those are the two things. Let's open a folder real quick, and I will show you guys what we're going to be doing here. Let's just open... yeah, let's just open... yeah, we'll open the WDD130. I don't want to do that though. Let's just create a new folder. Can I do that? Oh, I gotta open it. Oh, hang on. Got my desktop here. Yeah, new folder. We'll do intro to CSS, and we will plop that right there. That looks good to me. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. Looks good to me. We're going to close that now, and then we're just going to open that wherever it went. There it is. Open. Okay. So we have a new folder open. The folder is empty. There's nothing in it. So what we're going to do is there's two ways you can do some stuff. You can go to your folder explorer or your finder, and you can create a text file and put it in there, and you can name it HTML or JS for JavaScript or .css for CSS, and you can do all that, or you can just do it here, and this is where I tend to do it the most. So we'll do something like this. I'll just open a new file, and I'll say like week 01 intro or something .html. We'll do like .html. So this is why I recommend you learn HTML a little bit first, because I'm not going to dive too much into how it works. We're going to be going more into CSS. Now, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to actually create a new file. Did I do a file? Yeah, that's how I did. Okay, we're going to do week 01 intro. Okay, I did that incorrectly. Let's put that in there. It's going to say, do you want to move it? I say, yes, please move it in there. Perfect. It's inside there now. So now there's a folder. This button right here is a folder. This button here is a file. So we have a folder, intro, and inside there is a week 1 intro.html. And so you're going to have basic stuff. If you type an exclamation mark and hit enter, it's going to give you the basic settings that you need for a web page to run. And then you have basically all your stuff. So hit save. Let's bring this over. Okay, so if you want your live to work, you're going to come over here and you're going to right click, hit open with live server. You can do that on Windows too, it works the same way. If you do click that button, it's going to open with your default browser, whichever browser you have set as your default. For me, it is Windows, Google Chrome, so that's what opens for me. Come on now, thank you. I'm going to put that up there just so we can take a look at it on the side. So this is what it does for us. So if I come over here and I say there's a title, it's called document. Document's fine. We can also change it. We can say intro. If I could type, I always have trouble typing. Intro test. And you hit save, it immediately reloads it, and there it is. Boom. Now I am just another side note. I am loading my file externally, I guess you could say. I have another computer here at my house, and I'm loading my files from that computer and saving them on that computer. So it is taking an extra second for me to reload. Usually that reload that just happened, how slow that was, it usually takes more like a split second. It's quick. It just saves and goes and reloads. But since it's trying to communicate with my other computer, it's taking a second. But anyway, that's enough of that. That's enough talking about all that. Let's just put like an H1 or something here. And then we could say, of course, hello world is one of the first things you do. If you hit save, it immediately reloads. That's how fast it normally is. So this is why I like it. If I have a second screen pulled up, or you can split screen it like I'm doing here, you can just hit save and it goes. Save and it goes. And like I said, it's more convenient to do this when you're working with CSS, but I'm just doing some HTML right here. So that's why this thing works. Here's another thing we could do. Let's just open a new file real quick just to show you guys how this works. And inside the intro file, we're going to do something called styles. It's a styles folder. Inside styles folder, you can have another file, and you can call it whatever you want. Style.css is what I'm going to call it, though. Excuse me. Okay. Then you can come back here to the intro, and you're going to put it anywhere inside this head statement. You can put it, I'll put it up here at the top, and you're going to do something called a link. You're going to call it a link, and oh, right. And so you do this. Let me just double check that real quick. Just make sure I'm doing this correctly. I want to make sure I'm not messing this up. Let me just jump over here real quick and then open that. There we go. Inspect. I want to see what the link is. I forgot. Really quick. Open the header. Oh, it's a style. That's right. I forgot. The link only goes with the H2 with the JavaScript. That's right. Oh, did that go away? Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry, I said it incorrectly. As I went and checked real quick, it's not link. It's something else. Link is for when you're doing JavaScript. We want style is what we want. Okay. Geez, why did that happen? Jeez. Type. It's so weird. What is it doing? What in the world is going on? Are you okay? Do we have another style? Is that what you're supposed to do? I don't think so. Bring that over here. I don't think so. Inspect. Oh no, I just called it the wrong thing. It is a link. It's not a style. It's a link. It is a link. Okay. Okay. We're going to do a link. We're going to do REL, and I'm not exactly sure what REL stands for, but it's like a type, I guess. But anyway, you're going to call it a style sheet. Then you're going to go over here, and you're going to href, which I talked about a little bit in my other HTML and JavaScript class. Href is like a hyperlink reference. So let's see. The href was, what did we say? What's the styles? Style.css. Now that you've done that and you put it in your head, this page is now linked with your CSS file. This is your pathway. So styles is the name of the folder, and then style.css is the name of the file. And now it's always common practice, good practice, to put your styles in its own folder. You don't have to. If you do put this HTML and the styles at the same level, that's fine. That's not going to really mess anything up. You just want to get rid of this styles right here and the slash, and just put style.css, and it will work. But it's always a good practice to put it in its own folder. So now you have this hello world. So basically, you can do things in here in the CSS, like, for example, we'll say h1. You do this, and you could say like text align. We'll just use like center. That should work. Yeah, there it goes. So this is what CSS looks like. You declare what thing you want to change or adjust, which is my h1. And then inside the brackets you put text line center. And then that centered my text. That's just a simple thing to say. But you can do stuff like that, and notice how it updated immediately. That is one of my favorite things. You could also do like a background color, and you could do like, I don't know, black. That's a good one. And then it blacks out that entire thing. Now let's not use black because now you can't see it anymore. Let's put blue. Blue's a good one. I like that one. Let's do it. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. So how it updates immediately does all that. So for me, when I'm debugging my CSS file, this is really important because I type things in. I type in text align or something, and text align doesn't do anything for some reason. I'm like, oh, why is text align not working? Save. Okay, it didn't work again. That's so weird. Change the name, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't know. I'm working with a button. Oh, that's not a text. Why text align's not working? Because it's a button. That's exactly why it's not working. Anyway, you get my point, I hope. This has been a bit of a rant for me, but hopefully this made sense. That's everything I wanted to show you guys today. Next week I will be showing you guys a little bit more. Just make sure you've downloaded Visual Studio Code and you have installed those two, Prettier and you have installed Prettier and, well, you don't have to do Prettier if you don't want to, but live, what did I call it? Live something? I just said it 2 seconds ago. Live server, there it is. Live server is one of the most important ones to me. If you don't want to get Prettier, I don't really care. But just make sure you have these things down. Start some type of folder where you're going to keep everything that you're going to work with during your time in this series. I recommend that. It can be called Intro to CSS, or it can be called something else. It can be called my favorite folder. I don't know. Just a place where you can organize and keep your folders together and neat and stuff. And I will see you guys next week. If you guys have any questions about anything that I said today, about setting it up and stuff like that, you could go see like other videos and stuff, but who would I be if I recommended you to other people's videos? I'm kidding. You can go see other people's videos you want, or you can ask me in the comments or anything like that. If you want me to release another video to be more explanatory or to go through the setup process of VS Code, I will do that for you guys. But anyway, let me know. I hope as well, last note, that I am uploading this on schedule. I'm planning to upload this video the Saturday before the class opens, or before things are due. So this should be this Saturday that I open it should be the day that the class opens as well. Not that the things are due, but just when the class opens for you to look at it. If that is true, if I've done that correctly, let me know. And also let me know if you have anything that is due this week. If you guys have something you need to turn in this week, that would be good to know. I don't know that. I took this in block class, so I took it in a really short period of time, so I don't know how the times line up for you guys. But all we had to do this first week was kind of get familiar with VS Code. So if you guys have to actually submit something through VS Code or anything like that, let me know. I can definitely upload a video about how that works and how we can connect to GitHub. Totally forgot that. Get GitHub. If you guys don't have a GitHub, that would be super useful to get a GitHub account, by the way, because GitHub allows you to post like your website on the web. If you're building a website like I am here, and we had like that live view, you can actually post it to GitHub and view it. People can view it if you give them the link and stuff like that. That's super fun and super useful because it helps us to share our websites so other people can check out what you've done, things like that. So that's it though. That's it. Next time I get on here, we will talk about linking your GitHub to Visual Studio Code so that you can submit straight to GitHub through this source control button. We won't do that right now, but that is enough for today. I've talked my head off for today. I think I'm done. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions, and make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the videos coming out in the series. They will always come out on a Saturday, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!